Hey legends, welcome back to Always All Drive. So we last left off including our epic 2-week trip all the way from Lithgow right up to Glasshouse. We've taken the last couple of weeks just recovering, relaxing, doing a bit of maintenance in the car. As you can see, tyres are here because there is nothing over there. Hopefully back in December we can really start ramping up all the off-road content, so just been taking a bit of a well-needed break. Now, topic of today's video is you got your all-wheel drive, you got your four-wheel drive, where do you go? I'm going to walk you through the top 5 spots that I reckon, in my opinion, can get you out into the bush, getting to really know and understand your vehicle. The best thing, it is 3 hours or less out of Sydney. So crack open a beer, or in my case a bit of tea, because I'm covering from a bit of a cold. Let's get stuck into it. My first recommendation, if you want to take your all-wheel drive or your 4B off-road, is to start at the State Mine Gully Road in Lithgow. Now, when most people say Lithgow, it conjures up those really hardcore tracks like Moonrock, Alibaba's Cave, and things like that. You don't have to do any of that. Start all the way down State Mine Gully Road, and also all these places, I'm going to actually pinpoint where they are. If you take a hook onto the left after the gate, you'll find almost like a bit of a full drive playground, and I filmed my Powerlines tracking video actually over there. And what I really like about State Mine and Gully Road, and just as you keep driving down that whole full drive area, it's a pick your own skill, pick your own battle almost. You can really start nice and easy, just really get to know your vehicle, know where the traction starts, where it kicks off, your flex and things like that. Whereas if you want to go real hardcore, you can also just literally go on the other side of the road. You got power lines as well. And the beauty of all of this is that it is all in full mobile range too, which is really nice. So you're close to Lithgow, depending where you go, you can even camp there as well. So for me, as a great first entry into all-wheel driving or four-wheel driving, it's actually where I cut my teeth into. So State Mine, Gully Road, lock it into your calendar, because if you want to get into off-roading, start there, and it's super close as well. Okay, so you've done State Mine Gully Road and you're confident in your vehicle. Now, I have said it on my channel time and time again, the 6-foot track is a cracking area to drive through. It starts on the Cox's River Road. I'll actually have to pinpoint where it starts. And it takes you through all these different environments where you're not really going to ride off your car. And for me, it was actually the first proper full drive track I did. Now, I know most big lifted 35 4Bs will think it's not a hard track. But for an all-wheel drive, completely stock, it's an absolute hurt, and it gives you every different environment that you want to actually really test out your vehicle. You have your dirt, then you have your almost like a rainforest, you have a bit of mud, you have some really cool creek crossings, all with a rocky bottom, mind you. And then as you climb back up again, it starts to cool down, you have your more like gravelly stuff, and then you exit into a pine forest as well, where you can do a bit of a camping, check the local restrictions. But you can also do camping, and I've actually camped there a few times too. So if you want a really good overnight stay and you really want to do a track or a four-wheel drive track, the 6-foot track is highly recommended, and I cannot talk about that enough. I mean, my first ever video special I did was actually on the 6-foot track, so I can't recommend it enough. So add it into your list. So this next one is kind of interesting, and it was almost an accident that I found it. I actually found this one on a other YouTuber channel as well. It's in Wentworth Falls. I drove past here on the way to the Blue Mountains every second week, every third week all the time. And I had no idea that there was actually some really cool, hardcore powerline tracks just off the Great Western Highway. So it's in Wentworth Falls, and it can really get you thinking. What's really good about this track as well that I really like is you have the main road running always along the side of it. So what we did, we actually walked all the tracks first. To be less confident, I would get out. If I was a bit more confident, then I'd give it a go. There's full mobile coverage here as well, which is really good. And it's quite technical. I was genuinely quite surprised. I've got a lot more flex in my vehicle now than I used to. If you want to test your articulation, and something that's really close to Sydney as well, like surprisingly close, like a barely hour away from Sydney, give Wentworth Falls Powerlines track a bit of a crack, because I found it quite fun, and I have been meaning to go back for the last couple of months now. So keep your eyes peeled, it could be another video. So everything I've talked about so far has really just been in the Blue Mountains, whether it's a 6-foot track, whether it's around Lithgow, whether it's around Wentworth Falls. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of good forward driving there, but I wish I did this next one way earlier. We're talking 2 years before earlier, because I've not had more fun in a car than I did at Stockton Beach. Stockton Beach, you have to do it. You just have to do it. When you air down your tires and you've hit that first bit of a sand, we started in Anna Bay, you turn right and you just, as you're driving, you got the beach to your left, you got the sand on your right. It's like you're in the desert. It's like you're in Namibia. It is a cracking spot. It's really quite otherworldly when you're there, and it's one thing just to be on a beach going for a swim, having a barbie. It's another thing to be driving there, and it really gets you to know your vehicle, especially on soft sand. I find that kind of similar to snow. So given how hard it is to drive in snow in Australia, I'd say sand is the next best thing. What's really good about Stockton is that it is almost like a sand playground. You have over 300 hectares of dunes, you can drive up and down, and even better than that, you can go camping overnight too. So that was in one of my recent videos. It's $50 roughly a night. It's not the cheapest, I have to admit, it's not cheap, but I would recommend everyone, at a minimum, just drive there. You will have so much fun in your vehicle, and you really push you and your car up to the limits onto those really steep dunes too. So Stockton Beach is a spot that I genuinely wish I went earlier. Just make sure you get your permit. Just do it. I wish I did it way earlier, and I cannot wait to go back there again. My last one can be a bit of a contentious one actually. It's 3 hours out of Sydney, because all my other sites I've been talking about have only been around 2 hours. It is the one, it is the only bridle track. So the reason why I say it's a bit contentious is that if you look online, I feel that a lot of people kind of poo-poo the bridle track because it's not very difficult, it's all graded, you don't really need a full drive, this, that. It's what you see online. I still think it's a top spot if you want to get into all-wheel driving and forward driving, because in my opinion, it's a great example of adventure touring. So I would define adventure touring as you're off the blacktop, you're on the gravel, then you're camping, then you're back on the gravel again, you drive through a river, camping again, and so on and so forth. I would define that as adventure touring. You're doing the same whether you're in the outback, whether you're in the old Telly in far north Queensland. That's how I would define adventure touring. Bridle track is a great introduction if you really want to get into that lifestyle. You're not necessarily going to push your car to the limit, but it will really give your camp gear a good workout. And what's really good about the bridle track is that you have all these camps all littered and adjusted around everywhere, so you're not being all bunched up with other campers. It's a great way to spend 1 day, 2 days, hell, even a week if you want to. It's a cracking spot that even I return back to time and time again if I want to introduce mates into that adventure touring lifestyle, or even just wanting to give it a try. If you really want to start adventuring out past Lithgow, past those day tracks, I would highly recommend the bridle track. Add it onto your bucket list because you will not regret it. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope it gives you just a bit of an idea of where to go, where not to push your rig too much, but you get a really good feel for off-roading, your articulation, your drivetrain, everything like that. I feel that these tracks will push your car without rolling your car, if that makes sense. But you know what? I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you reckon? Do you reckon that these 5 destinations deserve to be on the list? Or is there anything else you'd like to add? Or even more, anything you feel that could be changed? Please drop a comment down below. I do read all of them, and I really do appreciate all the support. Future plans is getting that working very soon, because I am really keen to get stuck into it this summertime. I've got a whole bunch of tracks I really want to attack and I show you guys. So once again, I thank you all, and I'll see you next time.